It's the top of the second inning, and we've got no score between Lincoln and St. Francis. Welcome to the broadcast. Apologies about being on the air a little bit late today, but we are underway after a scoreless first. Lincoln has a man at first base with nobody out. And their batter is the number 8 hitter. Nick, the right fielder, takes a ball outside, 1-0. Elliott Nick, a .333 hitter this season, but it's really not worth reading that number off. He's only got 3 at-bats, 1 for 3 on the season. Making his 11th appearance this year, but without a lot of chances at the bat. He takes a ball outside. Next one misses away as well. Colin Kelly is doing the pitching for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis today. Kelly, no record of .540 ERA in 4 appearances this year. This is his second start of the season. He came in having allowed 4 earned runs on 6 hits over 6 2/3 innings with 3 strikeouts and 4 walks for the year. Next pitch is over the inside corner for a strike. Kelly, a left-handed pitcher, trying to pitch around a spot of trouble here. There's ball 4, so the trouble gets a little bit more pronounced as the runner advances to second base, and that runner at second is a pinch runner. Jorge Saldana was the man at first. He was replaced by Hugo Montoya, so it's Montoya at second. The man at first is Elliott Nick. And the batter is Jordan Olmstead, the junior infielder from Harrisburg, Missouri. No score in the top of the second inning. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1 on Lincoln's number 9 hitter. Slow start to this one, which is a bit of a surprise if you were following along with yesterday's action. A doubleheader between these two teams, swept by St. Francis, with just an absurd number of runs scored. I'm not good enough at math to count just how many, but suffice to say there were a lot. Saints themselves had 47 runs in the 2 games. So even though we're only in the second inning, it feels like a very slow start, as that ball is fouled back by Olmstead, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Olmstead this season hitting .235. He swings and misses for strike 3, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So Colin Kelly pitches out of a jam with runners at first and second and 2 outs. He strikes out the number 9 batter Olmstead, and we move along to the bottom of the second. St. Francis coming to bat in a scoreless tie.
Video isn't live.
Bottom of the second inning, Dolan Nicholson leads things off for the Fighting Saints and takes ball 1 inside. No score after an inning and a half of play.
No video.
Colin Kelly pitched out of a 2 runners on jam in the top of the second inning as Nicholson fouls one off. That evens up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nicholson on the season hitting .328. A home run, 11 RBIs on the year. He swings and it's another foul to the left side. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the mound for Lincoln College today is Dominic Tenayuka. Tenayuka, sophomore right-hander from Lake in the Hills, Illinois, serves one up to Nicholson, who lines it softly into left. That's a base hit. Dolan Nicholson is aboard with the leadoff single. It's the second hit of the ball game for the Fighting Saints. And that brings up the number 6 batter, Luke Ketchum. Ketchum fresh off a huge day yesterday against Lincoln, but it's almost redundant to say at this point. Pretty much everybody had a big game yesterday, or 2. Ketchum up to .306 on the season, a homer, 7 runs batted in. Ketchum bunts it third base side. And it's a beautiful bunt. It drops in for a base hit as Nicholson advances to second base. Ketchum is aboard on a bunt single. And there are 2 on now with nobody out. And a big RBI chance here for Jake Lasota. Lasota, the catcher, bats for the first time today, hitting .300 for the season, even 12 for 40 with 12 runs batted in. He shows bunt, pulls back and takes a ball outside, 1-0 the count. Ketchum's at first, Nicholson at second base. Tenayuka sets for the next one with corner infield creeping in. Olmstead standing right on top of the plate practically as the bunt is dropped down to the third base side and it dribbles foul. The count goes to 1-1. Lasota this season has 2 sacrifices. Looking for number 3 right here, but I mentioned before, one of the top RBI men on the team, so they are giving up an out with him right here as Olmstead again creeps in from first. Tenayuka turns and fires out to center field looking for the pickoff play at second. Instead, it's a throwing error on the pitcher, and everybody moves up a base. Ketchum to second, Nicholson to third. 1-1 on Lasota, and one would imagine the bunt is off right now. He does have a good RBI opportunity at this point. No score in the bottom of the second inning. The Saints can change that right here. Strike called, 1-2. Tenayuka entered play today with a 15.75 ERA. This is his first start of the season. He had allowed 14 runs on 14 hits and 7 walks over 8 innings coming into play, 6 strikeouts. And after a scoreless first, he's in trouble in the second as Lasota takes low and away. Ball 2. Sean Harper is on deck. Swinging a ground ball to the shortstop. Diving stop by Thomas. His throw to first just in time. Nice play by Thomas, but a run comes across the plate as Lasota drives in his 13th of the year. It's 1-0 Fighting Saints. Nicholson the man to score on the play. Luke Ketchum advanced to third, so a very productive out all around right there. And it brings Sean Harper up. With a man at third base, only 1 out. Now a 1-0 lead for the Fighting Saints as Harper takes ball 1 down low. Sean Harper's hitting .267 this year. He's got 2 home runs. Both of them came yesterday. Fouls this one straight back. 1-1. 11 runs batted in for the senior outfielder. Harper facing Dominic Tenayuka for the first time with Travis Schoonover waiting on deck. There's a ball to the backstop, and that brings home another run. Luke Ketchum crosses the plate. And it's 2-0 Fighting Saints. They get a run on the RBI groundout from Jake Lasota. And now the ball gets by the catcher Saldana to the backstop. Not sure if that one's a wild pitch or a passed ball. Probably go either way on it, really. The important thing is that a run comes in. The bases are now empty. And the count is 2-1 on Harper, who swings through the next one. It's 2-2. After a dominant offensive showing yesterday, the Saints had a rare 0 on the scoreboard in the first inning today, but they've put a crooked number up here in the second as Harper soars it out to right field. That's playable for Elliott Nick, who makes the grab for the second out. Here's Travis Schoonover. Right fielder hitting .274 coming in. Got off to a slow start this season, but he has started to turn it around lately as he takes ball 1 low and in. The guy's had a fantastic career for the University of St. Francis. He drives this one out to deep right field down the line. That ball is gone. Travis Schoonover hits a screaming liner inside the foul pole. Down the right field line, it clears the fence for his 3rd home run of the year. 3-0 St. Francis. For Schoonover, that is RBI number 12. And he crushed that ball. Noah Carraro comes up next.
No video?
Carraro, the right-handed hitting infielder, swings and flies it into center field, taking a step back and making the catch as Beard, and the inning is over. But a good inning for the Fighting Saints as they score 3 runs on 3 hits, including a solo homer for Travis Schoonover as we head to the 3rd. Saints lead by 3. Top 3, Lincoln back to bat with the top of the order as they try to erase the 3-run deficit created in the bottom half of the second inning. RBI ground out, a run-scoring wild pitch, and a solo homer created a good frame for the Fighting Saints as Beard leads off this one and chops it over to third base. Throw to first is high, and it sails over the head of the first baseman, Foster Heist. Beard slides into second. It's a two-base error to begin the inning. Well, Josh Tesh has played a lot of third base over the course of his collegiate career here at St. Francis, but has primarily been the second baseman this year, so maybe a little bit of disorientation for moving across the field, but his two-base error allows the leadoff man here in the top of the third to make it to second base, and that's some good speed from Kevin Beard, who flew all the way to second. Here's Thomas. He takes strike one from Colin Kelly. Ryan Thomas, the number 2 hitter in the batting order, batting .208 for the season. High throw to second base on a pickoff attempt. Nicholson was able to jump up and pull it in. So no problems like the one we saw in the last inning from Lincoln. An errant pickoff throw to second base ultimately led to a run scoring. Thomas takes a ball outside, 1-1. Nicholson able to save this one from going out to center, so Kevin Beard still at second base. Beard has 7 steals this year. Thomas floats this one down the right field line. That drops fair just inside the line. Beard crosses the plate and scores. Thomas slides into second just ahead of the tag. It's an RBI double. And Lincoln is on the board. It's a 3-1 game. For Ryan Thomas, that is double number 2 this season. I take that back. It's his 4th double. I don't want to sell him short. 14 RBIs, which ranks second on the team. Nobody out. And Vorwald is the hitter. He takes ball 1. Trey Vorwald, left fielder in today's game. It's .367 for the year, 7 RBIs. Ball low, 2-0. Today, game number 3 in a 3-game series between the Fighting Saints and the Lynx. Saints looking for a 3-game sweep, trying to move above 500 in the CCAC. Trey Vorwald takes a strike. Count is 1-2. Stroked out to right field down the line. That cuts foul. And it lands on the grass in the lawn section down the right field side. 2-2 on Vorwald. The inning began with a 2-base throwing error on third baseman Josh Tesh. Led to an unearned run scoring against Colin Kelly on the RBI double from Ryan Thomas. Pop up down the right field line, again out of play. Still 2-2. For Josh Tesh, the error was the 3rd this season. Kelly sets and deals. Popped up, right field, shallow, coming in, Schoonover towards the line, makes the grab. And though Thomas went back to second to tag up, he decides not to try the arm of Schoonover. He stays at second base, 1 away. Big first out right there for Colin Kelly. Tough test up next as he goes up against Jalen Jones. Jones, a .295 batter with a homer and 15 RBIs. Bats for the 2nd time today from the right side of the batter's box. Ball 1 low and in from Kelly. Today, the first of a pair of home dates this week for St. Francis. They take on Trinity International this weekend. 1-0 toss is lined over the head of the shortstop Noah Carraro. Base hit to center field. Thomas stops at third base. It's a single for Jones, and they're at the corners with only one away for Josh Tarlin. Solid line drive off the bat of Jones. That was the first hard hit ball of the inning. Even though it's the third base runner of the inning, Beard made a routine chopper to third, just a bad throw from Tesh that allowed him to reach. Thomas's double down the right field line was very well placed. Dropped just inside the foul line. And a bloop shot turned into an RBI two-base hit. There's a swing and a miss from Tarlin for strike one. Josh Tarlin had a huge day at the plate yesterday, and he's having a huge season at the plate, though in limited action. This is only his 7th game played. He rolls it foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Jones was running with that pitch. Tough man to catch on the base paths. He's 9 for 11 stealing bases this year. But on the foul ball, he has to return to first base. Josh Tarlin in his first 6 games this season, 8 of 19. That's a .421 batting average. 2 homers and 8 RBIs. He's behind in the count, 0-2. They're at the corners with one down. Tarlin takes the ball low and in. Kelly gets the sign in from Jake Lasota and throws to first base to check on Jones. Saw Jones take off a couple of pitches ago. Kelly wants to keep him as close as possible. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Tarlin goes down, and that's the big second out of the inning. For a guy who's been the best RBI man so far for Lincoln, and I say that despite the fact he only has 8 RBIs. That's more than 1 per game. He's only played in 6 games this year. But for a guy who's been their best RBI per game man, big man to put away with men on base as the runner goes on the first pitch to Auerbach, and Jones is safe at second as the pitch to Auerbach is ball 1. Now there are 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs. That makes the strikeout of Tarlin even bigger, because now any out would get Colin Kelly out of the inning with 2 runners in scoring position. 3-0 St. Francis leads on the 3 runs they scored in the bottom half of the second. Will Aubert takes a strike. The count is 1-1. Aubert hitting .325. He's knocked in 5 runs this year, looking for 2 more. He takes ball 2 outside. 6th man to hit this inning. 1 run is in. It was unearned against Kelly as the leadoff man reached on an error. Any ensuing runs this inning would also be unearned based on the fact that it would have been 3 outs had that error not been committed. There's a fly ball into left. It appears to be routine, and the catch is made to end the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left. We're going to the bottom of the third. It's 3-1, St. Francis on top. Tesh, McGuire, and Heist do up this inning. 3, 4, and 5 for St. Francis in the bottom of the third. First pitch, ball 1 on Josh Tesh. Tesh takes the ball downstairs. 2-0 now. Saints third baseman committed an error that led to a run in the top half of the frame. He'll try to get that run back here by reaching base to lead off the bottom of the inning. He hits a chopper to his counterpart at third, picked up by Tarlin, and the throw to first is in time. Tesh is retired 5-3, 1 away in the third inning. Brings up the DH, Joe McGuire. McGuire, the right-handed hitter, .315 average this year, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. He takes strike 1 from Tenayuka. Dominic Tenayuka doing his job for the most part today. A little shaky in the second inning, but aside from the home run, really wasn't hit all that hard. As there's a grounder to short. Throw across the diamond is in time, 2 away. 2 singles and a homer. Those were the 3 hits in the second inning. The runs came in thanks to an error on the pitcher himself on a pickoff attempt. Ground ball and then a wild pitch that led to 2 runs. And then no excuse making for the home run for Schoonover. He absolutely crushed that ball out to right field. Foster Heist swings at the first pitch, rolls it up the middle. Gloved by the shortstop Thomas behind the bag. He throws over to first and ends the inning. 1, 2, 3, just a 6-pitch frame, and Tenayuka gets 3 straight ground balls. We've played 3 full innings here in Joliet. Our score is St. Francis 3, Lincoln 1. Three innings in the books, and all of our scoring was done in back-to-back half innings from the bottom of the second to the top of the third. It's 3-1. St. Francis has the lead. Travis Schoonover's solo homer is the big hit of the game so far. Bottom of the order due up for Lincoln in the top of the fourth inning, and the first pitch from Colin Kelly misses downstairs for ball 1 on the catcher Jorge Saldana. Saldana's hitting .273 this year, 2 homers, 9 RBIs. 1 for 1 in this game with a single. He's got a 1-1 count down him here. In the dirt, 2-1. The Lynx have 4 hits, as do the Saints. Both teams have made a critical error that led to a run scoring. Strike 2 called. It's even. Saldana will be followed by Nick and Olmstead. 7, 8, and 9 batters for Lincoln. Ball off the outside corner from Kelly, 3-2. Colin Kelly trying to avoid his second walk of the game. It is an evasion of the walk. But a line drive single for Saldana. Well, sometimes I say avoision. 2 for 2 in the ball game today for the Lincoln catcher. And he will check out as he did before. Hugo Montoya gets to do the running for him. Just the cushy base running assignment. After Saldana does the hard work and gets on base, the tying run comes to the plate. It's Elliott Nick. Nick takes ball one upstairs. 3-1 in the top of the fourth at this point. In game one yesterday, there were about 40 runs scored. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And yes, that's an exaggeration, but not by a whole lot. First game ended up with 40 runs scored overall as this ball's fouled away, 1-2. And then another 26 in game two. One-two pitch, high for a ball. It's even. Runner at first with nobody out, top of the fourth inning. I think I got the two scores reversed. Actually, it was 19-7 game one, 28-12 game two. So that's when the 40 runs came across. Ball low and in, the count goes full. There's a ground ball to the right side, picked up by the second baseman Nicholson, flips to second for one. The relay from Carraro is in time for 6-3. It's a double play. The leadoff walk is erased. Montoya, the pinch runner, heads back to the dugout. Nick is 0 for 1 in the ballgame now, and it brings up the first baseman, Olmstead. Jordan Olmstead is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He takes ball one high. Saints and the Lynx played 14 innings of baseball yesterday. In those 14 innings, St. Francis scored at least one run in 12 of the 14. That includes all 7 innings in game 2 of the doubleheader. So that means that the first inning today in which they went scoreless was the first time in 8 innings. That ball's popped into foul territory right side. Schoonover over in front of the bullpen bench. Makes a nice grab. Good awareness of where he was on the field. Schoonover leaned over the bench, nearly ran into it, but was able to pull himself up, make the catch, and retire the side. Despite a leadoff single, a double play allows Kelly to face the minimum. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth inning. St. Francis 3, Lincoln 1. Bottom 4, 3-1. St. Francis leads Lincoln. Dolan Nicholson swings the first pitch from Dominic Tenayuka and fouls it straight back for a strike. Nicholson 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. He scored the first run of the game back in the second inning. Ball high, 1-1. Nicholson, Ketchum, and Lasota, the 6, 7, and 8 due up this inning against Dominic Tenayuka, who has settled in nicely over the last few frames. Soft fly into shallow right, diving, and making a great catch for the first out of the inning. Elliott Nick. Fantastic play, 1 out. The ball looked like it was dropping between Nick and Jones. Jones backed off. He knew he had no play on it. So it was all up to Nick. And Nick was able to lunge forward and make a great dive and grab. 1 down to start the 4th. Here's Luke Ketchum swinging and missing for strike 1. Since the Travis Schoonover solo home run back in the bottom of the 2nd inning, 5 straight Fighting Saints have been retired. And it's now 0-2 on Luke Ketchum as Tenayuka tries to make it 6 in a row. 1 out, nobody on base. Tenayuka winds and delivers. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Tenayuka strikes out Ketchum. And it's all up to Jake Lasota. Tapper foul hit by Lasota for strike 1. Jake Lasota picked up his 13th RBI of the season earlier today. That had tied him with Travis Schoonover for second most on the team, but Schoonover grabbed one just a few at-bats later. There's a fly ball out to right field. Backing up Elliott, he makes the catch, and he puts away 2 of the fly balls in the inning. Another 1-2-3 worked by Tenayuka. He's retired 7 straight. He's kept his team in this game as we head to the 5th. It's 3-1 St. Francis. Top 5 and the top of the order due up. Lincoln trailing 3-1 as Kevin Beard takes ball 1 high from Colin Kelly. Kevin Beard 0 for 2 so far today. He's been on base once though, and he scored Lincoln's only run. That one bounces in. Count moves to 2-0. Kevin Beard struck out swinging in the 1st inning, reached on an error in the 3rd, and eventually came around to score on a double from Ryan Thomas. He takes a ball outside, 3-0. That brings Brian Mahalik out of the dugout to talk with Colin Kelly, the senior left-hander. Beard runs very well, so this is not a guy you ever want to put on base for free if you can avoid it. We have 3 balls and no strikes in this at-bat. I don't know if Kelly is going to be able to avoid it. He's grabbing at his, one of his fingers on his left hand. I don't know if he's got a blister. He might have a blister. Something's wrong with one of his fingers, so it looks like he's going to come out. Angel Sandoval is checking in. So a tough end of the day for Colin Kelly, who pitched 4 strong innings, only 1 run allowed. But he will depart with what appears to be a finger issue. And we will step aside for a moment. Back in a bit to tell you about the new pitcher and get you the rest of this inning. 3-0 on the leadoff batter, top of the 5th. It's 3-1 Saints. Three to one, St. Francis leads Lincoln in the top of the 5th inning. Colin Kelly had to depart. Looked like there was an issue with one of the fingers on his left hand, his pitching hand. So he headed back to the dugout. Angel Sandoval comes in, and Sandoval gets as much time as he needs to warm up because it is an injury replacement. So he takes his final pitch. Sandoval on for the 2nd time in relief this year. He's typically a starter, 5 games started on the season. He's 1-4 with a 2.82 ERA. In 22 1/3 innings, he's allowed 12 runs, 7 earned on 26 hits, with 14 strikeouts and 5 walks. He comes in with a 3-0 count on Kevin Beard. And Beard takes strike 1. Kelly's day is not officially done yet. If Beard walks, it will be charged to Kelly. If he does anything else, it'll be charged to Sandoval. But he walks. So that's a Colin Kelly walk. The leadoff man reaches base. And Ryan Thomas, who's already got an RBI double in the game, comes up for the 3rd time. Thomas, hometown kid from Lincoln, Illinois. He's a senior now. Has gone 1 for 2 in the game, grounded out to 3rd in the 1st inning, and picked up the aforementioned RBI double in the 3rd. Runner goes, swung on, and tapped back to the pitcher's mound. Nice leaping grab by Sandoval, who flips over to first base. 1 away. Beard advances to 2nd. It's not a sacrifice bunt. It will count as an out on Thomas's batting average, but it worked out very much like one on an apparent hit and run. He had a high chopper back to the mound. Softly hit, but off the artificial turf here at DuPage Medical Group Field, it took a high hop. Sandoval was able to make the grab on the jump. Man in scoring position now with one out for Vorwald. He swings the first pitch and taps it foul past first base. Trey Vorwald singled back in the first inning. He popped out to right in the third. Lincoln is looking for its third win of the year, trailing by 2 runs in the top of the 5th. With the runner on the move, a ground ball up the middle. Carraro gloves it in the range of second base, throws to first. High digs it out of the dirt, but it's not in time to catch Vorwald, who reaches on the infield single. Beard advances to third. They're at the corners now with only 1 down. Here's Jalen Jones. Tying runs on base for Lincoln. Jones is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. He's also stolen a base. Grounder through the left side of the infield. An RBI hit for Jones. Beard scores. Vorwald stops at second. It's a 1-run game. Lincoln making its presence felt offensively. Jones has his second hit of the day. He picks up an RBI, his 16th of the season, a team lead. Here's Josh Tarlin. First time Tarlin has faced Sandoval. And he pops up the first pitch to shallow right. Dolan Nicholson backs up. Second baseman makes the grab. 2 away. So with Beard having scored, the book is closed on Colin Kelly. He went 4+ innings. 2 runs allowed, only 1 of them earned. The walk was his second of the contest. He gave up 5 hits, and Lincoln now has 7 of them. Will Aubert takes strike 1. Aubert has flown out once to each corner. Flew to right in the second and to left in the third. Ball 1 on him. The count is even. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Lincoln, 3, 4, and 1 for St. Francis. Tapped foul in the box. It's 1-2. Sandoval 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. A run is already in for Lincoln. 2 more in scoring position. Ripped down the ground to third base. Sliding stop Tesh. He carries it to third. Not in time. Or was it? It was in time. I was looking at the third base coach making the safe signal. He's wearing the same color as the umpire. Confuses a guy. The actual base umpire ruled him out, which is the only thing that counts. So 5 unassisted on the fielder's choice. Close play at third. Vorwald is not able to advance. 2 men left on base for Lincoln as they settle for 1 run in the 5th. They're chipping away at this lead, which was once 3-0 for St. Francis. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The lead is 3-2. Bottom of the fifth inning, St. Francis had a lead of 3. It's down to 1. They'll try to add to it again here as Sean Harper swings the first pitch of the frame and loops it into the right center field gap. Harper motors around first, heading for second. He's got third base on his mind. Here comes the relay throw to third. Sean Harper is safe. The throw may have had him beat. Tarlin couldn't get a grip on it, and so Harper dives in without a tag, and it's a leadoff triple. A great start to the bottom of the fifth inning. For Harper, triple number 2 this season. It's his 5th extra base hit of the year. And 4 of them, I think, have come against Lincoln now. Back to the top of the order, it's Travis Schoonover with the corner infielders in. The middlemen stay back. Schoonover takes ball 1 outside. With as bountiful as runs have been the last 2 days, I think that Lincoln is declining to bring the entire infield in because he's got to feel like his team's got several runs left in them at least. Ball outside, 2-0. And credit to the Lynx offense. They've really done a good job. They've kept pressure on the Saints all game. Saints have only had 1 good inning offensively. There's a ball inside. It gets him on the foot. And there are 2 men on base. Schoonover hit by the pitch. He's aboard for the second time today, following his home run in the second. And the batter is Noah Carraro. Runners at the corners with nobody out. The triple for Harper that began this inning snapped a string of 7 consecutive Saints retired. Dominic Tenayuka had really been in a groove, and now the Saints have gotten him out of it. Throw to first base sends Schoonover back to the bag. Travis Schoonover, 8 of 9 in stolen base attempts this year. First pitch from Tenayuka to Carraro. Ball outside. Carraro singled and stole a base back in the first inning. He was stranded at third. Even though they didn't score in the first inning, St. Francis had 5 combined base runners between the first and second. Ball 2 high. In the third and fourth, they had 0 combined base runners. Turning it around here again in the fifth, though. Called strike 1. Think about Dominic Tenayuka making his first start of the season. As a reliever this year, his ERA was 15.75. Maybe he was just waiting to be moved into the rotation. Maybe the starter's job is the one he needed to get going. He's been far from perfect today, but he has been good. Runner goes on a ball outside. Throw to second is not in time. Schoonover steals second base. It was an awkward stolen base attempt from Travis Schoonover. It looked almost like he was planning for a hit and run. He looked back to home plate. Carraro did not swing. I think what's more likely is Schoonover wanted to get himself caught in a rundown and allow Harper to score from third. Carraro takes a strike. It's 3-2. But no such thing happened. Harper remained at third base as the throw came into second. And Schoonover somehow slid in away from the tag anyway. Sharp grounder to short. This will get a run in as the play is made by Thomas. Thomas's throw to first is the first out of the inning. But it's 4-2 St. Francis. An RBI ground out for Noah Carraro. He picks up his first RBI of the game, number 10 this year. Lead is back to 2. Here's Josh Tesh, who's 0 for 2 in the game. Tesh swings to the first pitch and grounds it to short. Thomas charges, gloves, throws in time. Nicely done there by Ryan Thomas. Schoonover advances to third. 2 outs in the inning. That brings up Joe McGuire. McGuire, the cleanup batter, has gone 0 for 1 with a walk and a steal today. Ball one outside. Whenever you've got a lead, especially when you start to get late in the game, and the other side tightens it up, it's always a great feeling to be able to respond to that with a score of your own. Strike called, 1-1. Saints showing Lincoln that they're not quite done yet, just because they have a late advantage. Grounded up the middle, another chance for Thomas. He gloves it behind second, throws to first in time. McGuire is out. 3 straight groundouts to the shortstop, but they were preceded by 2 base runners. So as we head to the 6th, the Saints have extended their lead by 1. It's 4-2. Batting half of the 6th inning for the Lincoln Lynx. They trail 4-2, though they've out-hit St. Francis 7-5. First pitch of the inning is whacked foul to the right side. Strike one on Saldana. Jorge Saldana is 2 for 2 in the ball game with a couple of singles, including one to lead off the 4th. He leads off for the 2nd time today. Hits it on the ground to the shortstop. Noah Carraro fires to first, 1 away. Saldana is retired for the first time this afternoon. And that brings up number 8 batter, Elliott Nick. It's a warm spring day. The feelings of more of an early summer contest. Not that these teams ever play each other in early summer. Hard one hopper, left side, diving play by Carraro. The throw to first is high. And it's an infield hit for Elliott Nick. 2nd time that he has reached base today. Great effort by Noah Carraro. He made the dive about as well as he could. It was just the finish that he had trouble with. He rushed his throw after he had to hop quickly to his feet. And in rushing it, he threw it over the head of Foster Hayes. So a man on with 1 out. The batter is Olmstead. Jordan Olmstead, the first baseman. 0 for 2 as he takes a strike. He was one of 4 strikeout victims of Colin Kelly's today. Kelly was replaced last inning by fellow senior Angel Sandoval. Chopped foul to first, 0-2. One on, 1 out. The 0-2 pitch from Sandoval. Bounced foul. Fighting Saints do not have a 1-2-3 inning pitched today. Came close in the 4th. Kelly gave up a leadoff single, but thanks to a double play, he faced the minimum in the inning. There's a bouncer to the right side, past Sandoval. Nicholson waits back on it, fields, and flips over to first. 2 outs. Nick advances to second base. Nick, remember, reached on that infield single after the diving attempt made by Noah Carraro. Wasn't quite enough to keep him off base. Here's Kevin Beard. Beard was the first man that Sandoval faced. At least he threw 2 pitches to him. Ended up walking. It was not charged to Sandoval, who fires strike 1 to Beard this time around. St. Francis by 2. They scored 3 in the second inning. 1 more just here in the 5th. There's a fly ball deep down the left field line that drops into fair territory. A run scores for the Lynx as Beard heads to second base with an RBI double. Saints' lead had been cut to 1. They got 1 right back to make it a 2-run game. And now it's 1 again. Beard picks up the RBI. He's had a big game. He's been on base 3 times now, and he's factored into every run they've scored. 2 runs of his own, 1 RBI, and now he's going to score again potentially on a ground ball that gets by Foster Heiss, hit by Ryan Thomas. Beard does cross the plate, and we're tied at 4. An RBI single for Thomas. Good thing that the Saints scored in the bottom of the 5th to get that insurance run. Maybe it's not late enough in the ball game to call it an insurance run, but that's essentially what it was. And now their insurance is gone. This is the rest of their lead. Ball 1 high. Trey Vorwald is 2 for 3. He singled in both the 1st and 5th innings. 2-0 the count on Vorwald. Next toss from Angel Sandoval is looped back to the mound. Sandoval catches it on the fly. Vorwald is retired. But not before a run scores, 2 runs in fact, on 3 hits. And as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, it's a brand new ball game. 4-4. Foster Heiss leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. We got a tie score as Heiss takes strike 1 from Dominic Tenayuka. Foster Heiss is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. 328 hitter overall this year. He swings and flies it into left field. It's deep, but it's playable for Vorwald, who makes the grab. 1 out. That's 4 straight retired by Tenayuka. He had retired 7 in a row prior to a triple for Sean Harper. Gave it the triple to Harper, and then he hit Schoonover on back-to-back at-bats. Since then, he hasn't let anybody on. Ball 1 on Dolan Nicholson. So 11 of the last 13 have been retired. Ground ball to second base. Jones throws to first and makes it 12 out of 14 who have been retired. St. Francis led this game 3-0 in the second. Lincoln has chipped away. 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth. Luke Ketchum takes ball 1 low. First time the Saints have batted with a tie score since it was the second inning. This part of the batting order is what got things done, but that was not with 2 outs. Called strike, 1-1. Very different type of game today between these two teams, the new conference rivals, than the one yesterday. Ball outside, 2-1. A lot more pitching in this game, especially from Dominic Tenayuka. Popped up, right side, playable. Jones backs up, and the second baseman makes the catch. The inning is over. 6 straight set down by Tenayuka. His third 1-2-3 inning of the game. We go to the 7th. 4-4, we're tied. Seventh inning set to begin here in Joliet. 4-4. St. Francis and Lincoln are tied. Lincoln's had a lot more opportunities than St. Francis has had. They've doubled up the hits totals of the Fighting Saints as Jalen Jones leads off the 7th, swings at the first pitch and grounds it to the shortstop. Noah Carraro sets his feet, throws to first low, but Heiss makes the pick. 1 up, 1 down. Ten hits to 5, Lincoln over the Saints. Lynx have also drawn a couple of walks. Only 1 walk for the Saints so far. They also have had 1 hit by pitch. Tarlin takes ball 1. New pitcher out there for St. Francis this inning. Right-hander Sean Mahalik. He becomes the 3rd man to appear in today's contest for St. Francis. He falls behind Tarlin, 2-0. It's Mahalik's 5th appearance, his 4th out of the bullpen. He's 0-1 with a 6.35 ERA. Big swing from Tarlin, does not connect. Strike one. In 6 innings this year, Mahalik has allowed 7 runs, 2 of them earned on 17 hits. 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Tarlin waits back and flips it into right field. A base hit with 1 out in the 7th inning for Tarlin. Still no 1-2-3 innings for the Fighting Saints today. Lincoln has threatened every time out. Will Aubert is 0 for 3. He swings the first pitch and hits it foul off the screen. Strike one. Aubert has flown out twice and grounded into a fielder's choice. Mahalik looking for a ground ball right here that could get him out of the inning. Check swing. He did not go around. Count is 1-1. Barring that double play, Saldana will bat next. He's been swinging a hot bat today. Pitch from Mahalik. Hit in the air into right field. Travis Schoonover takes a few steps to his left and makes the grab. 2 outs. It's all up to Saldana now. Jorge Saldana is 2 for 3. A couple of singles and a run scored. One time he was retired, it was a 2 for 1. It was a double play. Called strike one. Actually, I take that back. The man who hit the double play is the guy on deck, Elliot Nick. Saldana grounded out to the shortstop his last time up. So he's 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a ground out. Ball in the dirt, 1-1. Lincoln has scored in 3 of the last 4 innings. They're trying to keep that trend going. But they're 1 strike away from having it end. 1-2. Mahalik takes a look at the runner at first base. To the plate on 3-0. It's outside, off the glove of Lasota. And Aubert advances to second base. So now a man in scoring position, and that's the go-ahead run for Lincoln, who has not led in this game at any point. They're down by as many as 3 runs. Big pitch from Mahalik, the 2-2. Struck him out swinging. First strikeout for Sean Mahalik, 6th of the game against the Lynx. They get a runner as far as second base, but don't score in the bottom of the 6th. On our way to the 7th inning, it's tied 4-4. Bottom of the 7th inning, Jake Lasota set to hit for St. Francis, 8-9-1. Due up this inning against Dominic Tenayuka, who's had a great game. His first pitch to Lasota sails over his head for ball 1. Lasota is 0 for 2 with a flyout and an RBI groundout. First run of the game scored off the Lasota grounder. He is hit by the pitch in the shoulder here. Second batter that Tenayuka has hit today. And the leadoff man reaches for St. Francis as they look to break a 4-4 tie. Lasota departs, replaced by the pinch runner John McGuire. Sean Harper is 1 for 2 with a triple and a run. He bunts at the first pitch, foul for strike 1. John McGuire running at first base in place of Jake Lasota, who was hit by a pitch. First ball almost hit him, went over his head. Second one did get him, high on the shoulder. There's a popped up bunt. It drops in fair territory and goes foul. 2 strikes. Jordan Olmstead came in on that ball and tried to make a catch. Once he missed, he recognized his best option was just to let it go and hope for the best going forward in this at-bat instead of grabbing the ball, probably not having a play anywhere. Harper squares up early, pushes the bunt to the first base side. A good one this time. The throw is in time, 3-4. McGuire advances to second base. We're in the bottom of the 7th, so we're approaching a late hour in this game. For the Saints to have that go-ahead run at second base is a big deal right now. As Travis Schoonover hits for the 4th time. Schoonover has had 2 good at-bats, 1 not so good. He's grounded out to second base. Homered and been hit by a pitch. Fouled back. Some would argue that being hit by a pitch is not a good at-bat or a good result of the at-bat, but I'll say it is. Schoonover was hit in the foot. Didn't seem to be fazed too much by it. He needed a chance to get the runner at second base there, but McGuire was able to get back in safely. Schoonover swings and grounds it to short. The throw comes to third, and McGuire's out. 6-5 on the fielder's choice. John McGuire's retired. Schoonover is at first base. Ball hit out in front of McGuire. He decided to risk the throw at third base anyway, and it did not work for him. So now we may see Travis Schoonover try to steal a base. Ball went outside on Noah Carraro. Especially considering Carraro has been a good average hitter this year, not so much on power. He's batting .324, but no homers, just 3 extra base hits. So you might as well put yourself in scoring position for him, and that's the same thing that Lincoln has in mind. To throw Chase Schoonover back to first base. He does go now. Carraro swings and fouls it off. Four runs, 11 hits for Lincoln. 1 error. 4-5-1 for the Saints. Saldana a little bit shaken up after taking that foul tip off of his head. But he's all right to continue after a quick word with head coach Tony Thomas. And back to the action. The count is 1-1 on the number 2 batter, Noah Carraro. Ball outside. Another good opportunity coming up for Travis Schoonover to run if he wants to. Throw to first, and he's back in safely. Good game developing here between these two new conference rivals. Fouled away. Schoonover was running again. Counts 2-2. First meeting all time between these two teams yesterday. Down at Lincoln. Fouled back off the catcher again. It was a memorable debut for the Fighting Saints at Lincoln. Most of the guys on this team probably will not soon forget the day they scored 47 runs in a doubleheader, their first ever that spring. Throw to first base, runner back. First ever against Lincoln. Not the first doubleheader they played. That would be something. 2-2. Low and away, ball 3. Full count, and with 2 outs, Schoonover will definitely be on the move here. He's taken off a couple of times already in this at bat, but has been forced to return thanks to foul balls. Ball 4. Noah Carraro is aboard. That'll bring up Josh Tesh as Tony Thomas goes out to have a talk with Tenayuka. There is nobody warming up in the bullpen right now. If they wanted to make a change on the field, Elliot Nick and Will Aubert are the 2 fielders at the moment who are also pitchers. But it looks like they'll stick with Tenayuka for now. Came in with a 15.75 ERA. He's given up just 4 runs through 6 2/3. Although he has made a few mistakes. Gave up the home run to Schoonover back in the second inning. 3 of the 4 runs scored in the second. He has hit 2 batters. Tesh swings and misses for a strike. Josh Tesh is 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. This is possibly his last chance to extend his hitting streak, which is currently up to 13 games. Ball low, 1-1. Again, it misses downstairs. 2 balls and a strike on Tesh. Still nobody throwing in the bullpen for Lincoln, but if Tenayuka is not able to get out of this jam, we may see a change made anyway. Tesh drills it down the third base line. It's fair. Down to the corner. The Fighting Saints get a run as Tesh heads to second with an RBI double. St. Francis is back on top. It's 5-4. Noah Carraro stopped at third base on the play. Schoonover scored. Here's Joe McGuire with runners at second and third. Still 2 outs. Back-to-back 2-out base runners for the Saints after the inning looked to be dead in the water. Joe McGuire takes the first pitch for ball 1. He walked back in the first inning, his only time on base so far in this game. 2 runners in scoring position here for the Fighting Saints. Ball outside, 2-0. If McGuire should reach, Foster Heiss will bat next. That ball is hit hard out to deep left, and that's a fair ball. 2 more runs come in for the Fighting Saints. Joe McGuire's got a 2 RBI double. Back-to-back RBI doubles for St. Francis with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. And they have built their lead back up to a game-high 3. It was 3-0. Now again at 7-4, it is a 3-run difference. Here's Foster Heiss. Heiss is 0 for 3. He flew out to left just last inning. Flies this one to left, but fouling out of play. Strike 1. Nobody warming up in the Saints bullpen right now. So it's still Sean Mahalick's game at the moment. So Heiss turns away from that breaking ball inside. 1-1. The Lynx do have someone getting loose. I'll let you know who in just a moment. Foster Heiss takes a ball outside, 2-1. I think it's Derek Fitzgerald warming up for the Lynx. Heiss grounds it to second base. Jones has it. His throw to first is in time. The inning is over, but 3 more runs score on 2 hits. All 3 runs scored with 2 outs. We'll go to the 8th inning. 7-4 St. Francis. Top of the 8th inning. Lincoln has some work to do. They trailed 3-0, but they overcame that and tied it up at 4 with 2 runs in the 6th inning. But in the bottom of the 7th, the Saints add 3 to their total, and now they're up 7-4. So with 6 outs to play with, Elliott Nick leads off the 8th inning for Lincoln and fouls it away. 1-1 the count. Excuse me, make that 0-2. Count on Elliott Nick. Nick is 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a run scored. And now a strikeout to his total as well. He goes down looking, and that is back-to-back strikeouts for Sean Mahalick going back to last inning. Mahalick has been effective since he first entered the contest in the 7th inning. He's faced 5 batters and retired 4 of them. 2 strikeouts now on his ledger. Here's Jordan Olmstead. Olmstead takes strike 1. Jordan Olmstead's gone 0 for 3 out of the 9 slot in the batting order. He has struck out, popped out, and grounded out. He swings through a breaker that dips away for strike 2. Sean Mahalick, the 3rd pitcher of the day for St. Francis. Colin Kelly started, went 4 innings, allowed 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. Ball inside, 1-2. Angel Sandoval came in. He went 2 innings. He allowed 2 runs. Both of his were earned. Foul tipped, still 1-2. Just off the outside corner from Mahalik. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The dangerous Kevin Beard is waiting on deck. Mahalik trying to bring him up with nobody on base. And he'll do just that as he gets Olmstead to swing through strike 3. 3rd straight strikeout for Sean Mahalik. 2 down. So that will bring up Beard, who today has scored 3 runs and driven 1 in. He has accounted for every run that the team has produced in today's game. Up for the 5th time, Beard faces Mahalik for the first time and takes ball 1. Looping liner out to left, another base hit for Beard. He reaches base for his 4th consecutive at bat. Great game today for Beard. Senior outfielder has reached on an error, walked, and picked up 2 hits now. Here's Ryan Thomas. He swings to the first pitch and grounds it to second. Nicholson flips to Carraro covering the bag. The inning is over. 4-6 on the fielder's choice. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Last chance for the Saints to tack on a few insurance runs. They lead 7-4. Bottom 8 for St. Francis as they come fresh off a 3-run 7th inning. They got 3 runs, all with 2 outs in the 7th inning to break a 4-4 tie. Now Dolan Nicholson leads off the 8th with a high fly out to right field, lost in the sun, and it drops on the warning track. Nicholson around second base, heading for third. The throw comes in, and Nicholson is out, going to third base. What a weird play. A high fly ball that was well hit, but probably a routine out if Elliott Nick hadn't lost it in the sun, but he never saw it off the bat. Threw up his hands immediately to indicate he couldn't find the ball. It dropped several feet behind him, and Nicholson got greedy. Went to third, and he is thrown out. So it goes a double, and then retired trying to stretch it into a triple, but it probably should have been an out in the first place, so I guess everything evens out in the end on that play. Ball 1 on Luke Ketchum. We're off and running in the bottom of the 8th inning. That was the first pitch. The ball that Nicholson flew out to right. Ketchum takes the ball, 2-0. Kind of a strange weather day. Strange in the first place that it's 80 degrees on April 7th. Grounder to third. Nice pick by Tarlin. He throws to first, 2 down. It was a beautiful sunny morning. And the clouds came rolling in. Gloomy afternoon. There were some storm clouds in the area when this game started, and a few drops of rain did fall early on in the contest, and then they went away very quickly. In fact, by the end of the first inning, I don't think we saw any more rain. And now the sun is out in full force. Jake Lasota gets hit in the arm on the first pitch to him. That must have just barely grazed him. I could hardly tell that it hit him, and the ball really didn't seem to be impacted very much by the impact with Lasota's arm, because it was caught by the catcher. But Lasota reaches base for the second time today. He's been hit by 2 pitches now. And he's replaced by John McGuire at first base as Sean Harper steps in, swings to the first pitch, and pops it behind home plate. That hits the screen behind the plate. No chance for Saldana to make the catch. It's a foul ball, strike 1. Fast-moving inning here. We've seen a double, a hit by pitch, a ground out. And at the moment, there are 2 outs with 1 on base. Nicholson thrown out at third on his double. Throw to first base sends McGuire back to the bag. Sean Harper, the number 9 batter, is 1 for 3 with a triple. He's also flown out and grounded out. He swings this pitch and strokes it into center field for a hit. Harper has his second hit of the game. McGuire stops at second. It's a single. 2 on, 2 out. And back to the top of the order. Travis Schoonover's had a nice game. He's been hit by a pitch. He's homered. He's reached on a fielder's choice. An RBI, 2 runs. Strike 1 called. You know, it occurs to me this inning started so fast. Never really talked about the new pitcher that came in. Derek Fitzgerald pitching in the 8th inning. Freshman right-hander came in with an 11.37 ERA in 7 games pitched. Fly ball into right field. Elliot Nick comes in. This time he sees it all the way and makes the grab. So the inning is over. 2 hits, a hit batter, but no runs. And as we go to the 9th, last chance coming up for Lincoln. 7-4, St. Francis leads. Top of the 9th inning, St. Francis leads at 7-4. Last chance here for Lincoln. Vorwald, Jones, and Tarlin, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. They face a new pitcher for the Fighting Saints. Ryan Daly looking for his first career save. The freshman right-hander goes into the windup. His first pitch to Vorwald is hit on the ground to the right side. Dolan Nicholson scoops it up and throws to first. 1 away. Ryan Daly is 0-2 with a 7.97 ERA coming in. This is his third relief appearance and his sixth game pitched overall. In 20 and 2/3 innings, he's allowed 21 runs, 18 of them earned on 32 hits with 16 strikeouts and 5 walks. He faces Jalen Jones with one out and the bases empty. Jones is 2 for 4 with a pair of singles, a stolen base, and an RBI. He takes strike one. It's a paltry offensive performance today for the Fighting Saints compared to yesterday. But you usually don't complain about 7 runs as Jones swings and misses to make the count 0-2. After scoring 47 runs off of Lincoln in one day's work, today they look for a 3-game sweep as Jones strikes out swinging. 2 up, 2 down against Daly. They're a 3-pitch strikeout. And the batter is Josh Tarlin. Derek Fitzgerald pitched a scoreless bottom half of the 8th inning to keep his team alive coming into the 9th as Tarlin takes strike one. Fitzgerald entered play today with an 11.37 ERA. And that's actually the second lowest on the entire roster. Fouled back, strike two. Tarlin and the Lynx down to their final strike. Lincoln has out-hit St. Francis 12-9. But they've not been able to get the hits when they've mattered the most. The 0-2 fouled back. They did fight back from a 3-run deficit to tie the score eventually at 4-4. But a 3-run 7th is the difference right now. Ball high, 1-2. Nine men have been left on base so far in this game by the Lynx. Tarlin fouls it off, staying alive, still 1-2. Nice work by Tarlin to keep this at bat going and to keep this game going. One more strike and they're done. Daly looking for the perfect 9th inning. Looping liner to the right side. It squirts through for a hit. Nice work by Josh Tarlin to keep the game alive. He muscles it out to right. Second hit of the game for Tarlin, who entered play today, hitting over 400 for the season. He's gone 2 for 5, and his average has actually gone down. There's a chopper to the second baseman, Nicholson. He flips over to second base, and there's your ball game. Will Aubert grounds into the 4-6 fielder's choice. And St. Francis takes out Lincoln by a final score of 7-4. The Saints come away with a 3-game sweep of Lincoln this week, and they have now won 4 consecutive overall. Today's game not quite as wild as yesterday's doubleheader, but it was just as successful for St. Francis, who started a little bit slower today. Ended up taking a 3-0 lead, though, after the second inning. They saw Lincoln claw their way back. The Lynx went on a 4-1 run, as it were, and they took a 4-4 tie into the 7th inning. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, that's when the Saints struck. In fact, let's go back over all of the scoring in this game. It started in the bottom of the 2nd. Dolan Nicholson and Luke Ketchum hit back-to-back singles to lead things off, and then they scored respectively on a ground out and a wild pitch. So it was 2-0 for Travis Schoonover, who rifled a home run out to right field. That made it 3-0 in favor of the Fighting Saints. And that was the score only until the top of the 3rd, when Lincoln tightened things up. Kevin Beard reached on an error. Ryan Thomas blooped him home on a double. That made it 3-1. He made it 3-2 in the 5th inning. That's when Jalen Jones' RBI single scored Kevin Beard to make it a 1-run game. In fact, Beard reached base 4 times today. He was involved in all of Lincoln's runs. 3 of them scored and 1 of them knocked in. Saints made it 4-2 in the 6th inning. Or, you correct that, they made it 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning, right after Lincoln had just scored to make it a 1-run ball game. Sean Harper hit a leadoff triple. He came home on an RBI ground out from Noah Carraro. So it was 4-2, and the Saints seemed to be cruising, but Lincoln was able to bring home 2 more runs in the top of the 6th. Elliott Nick singled, He scored on a Kevin Beard base hit, and then Beard scored on a Ryan Thomas single. That made it a 4-4 tie ball game. And then the Saints in the 7th put it away once and for all. With 2 outs and Travis Schoonover at first base, Noah Carrara walked. Josh Tesh doubled home Schoonover with the go-ahead run, and then a 2-run double for Joe McGuire made it 7-4. That would be the final score as the Saints bullpen got things done. Sean Mahalik and Ryan Daly combined to pitch a scoreless 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Angel Sandoval actually gave up 2 runs in the 2 innings that he pitched, but he gets the victory as he was out there at the time that the Saints took the lead for good. The loss goes to the starting pitcher for Lincoln. That was Dominic Kanayuka, who pitched one of his better games of the year. In fact, his best game of the year was his first start of the season. He ended up lasting 7 innings. Final totals today for Lincoln: 4 runs, 13 hits, and an error. For St. Francis, 7 runs, 9 hits, and an error. St. Francis wins 7-4. They pick up their 3rd straight win over Lincoln and their 4th straight win overall. They're now 10-11 on the season, and they move above 500 in conference play at 8-7. Lincoln falls to 2-21 overall, 1-11 in CCAC play. Next up for the Saints, Trinity International. 3-game series this weekend. They play on the road on Friday afternoon, and then a doubleheader here on Saturday starting at 1. We'll have that broadcast for you, and if you go to GoFightingSaints.com, you can get a full schedule for the rest of the season for St. Francis, bearing in mind that it's all tentative. It always is this year. Everything is liable to change at any time. That'll do it for today's broadcast, though. St. Francis takes out Lincoln, a 7-4 final. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for University of St. Francis. Have a nice evening.